Hi, what's up? It's Wick for Xiaomify, and today we're looking at the Amazfit GTR2. Is it any good, and has it really improved from the GTR that we've seen last year? Well, let's find out. Let's go. So here it is. In the box, we'll find the GTR2 in this pretty nice packaging. On the side of that, you'll find the new charger with a USB connector. And on the other side, you'll find this instruction booklet, and that's about it. So there's two models of the GTR2. I've got the sports edition right here with that rubber-ish strap. So let's dive into the tech specs and let's try it out. The GTR2 comes with a round 1.39-inch AMOLED touch display with a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch that has a resolution of 454 by 454 pixels. On the inside, it's got a 471 milliamp hour battery that's good for up to 14 days of use. It takes around 2 hours to charge. Comes with a BioTracker 2 PPG sensor to track 24/7 heart rate, and it can measure blood oxygen levels and track your sleeping quality. It's got a gyroscope sensor for step and sports tracking. It's got an air pressure sensor and an ambient light sensor for automatic screen brightness adjustments. Comes with Bluetooth 5.0 for pairing it with your phone, Wi-Fi for uploading songs that it now can store on the watch itself on its 3 gigs of internal storage. And it comes with a built-in AI voice assistant, which is powered by Amazon Alexa. And last but not least, it's got a 5 ATM waterproofing, so you can easily swim with it. Let's first install it on a phone and let's see how it does. You have to install it using the Zepp app, which used to be the Amazfit app. It's easy to pair over Bluetooth, and once it's paired, you can track your sports activities, step counter, heart rate data, and all the things you'd expect. It also allows you to browse through a number of new watch faces. There's some pretty nice looking analog-ish ones and a whole bunch of more digital looking ones. There's actually some pretty nice looking watch faces, and these are a few that I actually kind of liked. The watch itself is pretty easy to use. You can swipe down to access the control center with some quick access toggles. These use icons that you might have to get used to perhaps, but it allows you to use it as a flashlight, kinda. Quickly go to the settings, turn on not disturb, the battery saver, change the volume, change the screen brightness, turn on the theater mode, and more. You can swipe up to see your latest notifications that are being pushed through from your phone, and it can basically show you notifications from all apps on the phone, including things like WhatsApp or WeChat. The only thing here still is that it won't display any emojis though. You can swipe from left to right or right to left to go through the most common apps like the weather, the step counter, and the music player. You can actually customize which apps that you want to show here, or perhaps you want to remove some. It also has 2 buttons on the side. The bottom one allows you to open up the sports tracker, but you can actually customize which app that you want this button to open from the settings if you want to change that. With the top button, you can open up the full list of apps on the watch. And it looks pretty nice with that curved interface, and it feels pretty cool to scroll through. It comes with the PAI levels, or personal activity scores, the heart rate monitor, blood oxygen levels, fitness tracker or workout menu to start the workout tracking. It's got a history of your workout activities, your stress monitoring levels, activity goals, which has those activity rings similar to the Apple Watch. It's got the music player, weather app, alarms, event calendars, and some widgets like a compass, timer, countdown timer, and a Find My Mobile toggle. Below that, you'll find the settings where you can change the display brightness, change the watch face, Bluetooth connections, change the sound settings and the user preferences like the function of that lower button on the watch that we've seen earlier, and some settings on the voice control. And then there's the voice control that uses the Amazon Alexa engine, so that allows you to open up the weather app. Open the weather. Or increase or decrease the brightness of the watch face. I'm not really sure if I'm a big fan of it, but in case you really need it, well, it's available for you right there. Let's look at the fitness tracking menu, or the workout menu. It now comes with 12 of the most common sports trackers like outdoor running, walking, in and outdoor cycling, treadmill, open water and pool swimming, but also things like climbing, trail running, skiing, and freestyle fitness. Amazfit actually said they will roll out more trackers in the next few months, so I'm not sure what those will be and how many, but they say they will actually roll out more, so that's pretty cool. I've tested out with some exercising, and it seemed to work alright, and equally important, I have tested it with some swimming. And swimming was no problem. It seems to measure that quite well, and most importantly, it held up quite well and the watch worked after swimming, so that's pretty good. Another thing a lot of you will like to see is that it's got an always-on display. This has some settings, so you can set it to a more trimmed-down digital or analog-style watch face, and that will definitely save you some more battery. And you can also set it to a smart mode. You can set the time at which you want the always-on display to be active, so perhaps you might want it to turn off every day after midnight, so it's pretty nice and quite flexible. And then there's the music storage feature. It can now store up to 3 gigs of music on the watch itself, and that's pretty cool. The process is a little bit tedious, as you'll have to select which songs to transfer to the watch, then connect to the Wi-Fi network of the watch from your phone and transfer the song. It does do that quite fast because it's Wi-Fi, so that is nice though. Once you've got some music on the watch, you can play that on the watch itself over its internal speaker. But you can also pair the watch with a Bluetooth speaker or Bluetooth headset, so it will play the music on that, and that's pretty cool. Because this would totally allow you to go for a run without having to bring your phone to play music, so I really like this feature. You can still use the watch as a remote controller for your phone's audio as well by tapping on the audio source menu item in the music player. It will then switch to control the music on the connected phone. And one more thing you'll be probably happy to know is that you can still access the music player also when the fitness and sports tracking mode is on. So you can still control the music player on the watch itself as well as the remote controller for your phone's music app even when you're doing an exercise. So that's a good thing. Now, how do I like the GTR2 after using it for about 2 weeks? And, well, how much does it cost? Well, first, I like the GTR2 quite a lot. It definitely has some improvements over the GTR that I've looked at last year. I like that it's got that internal storage for the music. I like that you can use an external Bluetooth speaker or Bluetooth headset to play this music from. I like that it's got more and better tracking features with more sports modes that will be added in the months to come, well, at least according to Amazfit. I like that it's got that always on display, so it will always show you the time, regardless if you hold up your wrist or not. And the design of the GTR has changed a little bit from the GTR last year. And personally, I kinda like the look of that one a little bit better, but I'm sure that some of you will prefer the looks on the GTR too. I guess that's just a matter of taste. I do like how you can still easily change the strap to change the look. As a matter of fact, I could easily attach the strap of my first generation GTR to the GTR2 that I've got here. So it definitely allows you to change the strap to something that you prefer. It's also nice to see that it has voice control. I'm not sure how useful that really is in day-to-day use and how often you would really use it. Maybe if you're working out and sweating, it might be good, or if you're cooking. But overall, I found it to not be that useful, but in case you really need it, well, it's there. The Amazfit GTR2 is coming out in the Amazfit store and the Amazfit AliExpress store for $179 for the sports model, which is the one that I've got right here, with the aluminum alloy housing, and the classic edition with a stainless steel housing and leather strap for $199. I'll put down some links in the description below this video in case you want to go and check them out. So that's about it for the Amazfit GTR2. What do you guys think? Is this a nice and welcome upgrade from last year? And what do you like or don't like about the GTR2? Let me know down here in the comments section below this video what your thoughts are and if you like it or not. And don't forget to leave a little like below this video to show me that you've liked it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, know that you probably should, because I'm doing a lot of videos about Xiaomi and Xiaomi ecosystem companies like Amazfit right here on the Xiaomify channel. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see y'all soon. Peace.